All right, let's look at this Lekgotla and the state of the taxi industry. We're now joined by the Deputy Minister of Transport, Dikeledi Magadzi. Deputy Minister, thank you for joining us. The President and the Minister, I think both speaking about how important this is, and I think the Minister was quite frank about some of the issues here. The fact is, there has been a taxi recapitalisation program. There's been several interventions over several years. Still, I mean, I'm in news. Not a week goes by without a horror accident involving possible overcrowding, unsafe taxis not following the rules of the road, and many people have died. There's taxi violence due to competition over routes. What would you say, Deputy Minister, is the real state of the industry right now?
Thank you very much for inviting us. Let me indicate that the first day of the went on very well, and I need to hasten to indicate that there are challenges, of course. The taxi recap, there are so many taxis that have been recapitalized, but you must remember that most of the taxis travel in the roads that are challenging. And in one of the commissions, one person was indicating that you buy a taxi within 12 to 18 months. That taxi, because of the roads that are challenging, that taxi within 18 months is no longer a new taxi. You are still paying the installment as such, and these are the problems that we have seen. But as the Minister has indicated and the President has indicated, lawlessness and disrespect of the rules of the road are some of the things that are challenging, which brings about some of the accident, as a gruesome accident as we see in most of the areas.
I would argue, and there is actually evidence that government is scared of taking on this industry. There was protest action, and then the taxis were exempted from e-tolls. There was protest action, and then the next thing, there was 70% capacity in taxis during the COVID lockdown, and many were questioning if that was really the right decision. Is the taxi industry a law unto itself, and has government allowed that?
I don't think the taxi industry is a law unto itself, but what we need to indicate is we're starting to find each other so that we can be able to cooperate with one another. And as the president of Santaco was indicating, they want to work closer to government, and they believe that government, once they is regulating the taxi industry, a lot of challenges that they are experiencing will be a thing of the past. But we are in a process of making sure that once we finalize this program that we are having, as indicated by the Minister, come April next year, some of the things that we have seen within the taxi industry will be the things that in future, because this is a sunrise industry. In future, we will see things becoming better. In future, we will be able to see an industry that has been regularized, an industry that has been formalized, and an industry that will be empowered. Yeah. Because remember, the Minister is talking about subsidizing. Even the President has so said that there's a need to subsidize the industry. But amongst themselves, as within the industry, they are saying there should be downstream value addition, because they buy cars, they don't have a dealership, they buy petrol, they don't have outlets, they buy spares, they don't have outlets. And these are the things that they believe that once they are formalized, once they are empowered, regularized, they will be able to look into some of these businesses downstream, as has been indicated. The president of Santaco was indicating that he will be very excited if, as they recapitalize the industry, they get shares in the recapitalization. And our belief is, let's work very close, let's work very hard so that we can be able to look at this 40 billion rand per annum industry, which actually at the end they couldn't register their employees for UIF. Come the challenges that they have been experiencing. Yeah. Many of them, their taxes are being taken away by the financial institution. And once we work with them, we definitely will be able to see this industry becoming a better industry.
And tax revenue also part of that formalisation. Deputy Minister, in finality, if we put South Africans at the centre of this, not the taxi industry, but the commuters, the people who need to go to work and back every day, should money be spent on subsidisation or alternatives? Let me give you an example. Because of that 70% during the COVID lockdown, many people we spoke to felt very unsafe, but they said they had no alternatives. Then the taxis announced incredible increases to push government towards more compensation. If those had kicked in, it was the poor who were going to suffer. Shouldn't this government be worried that for millions of South Africans there are still not viable alternatives in the form of reliable buses or trains? And why aren't we investing enough in those alternatives?
Let's look at the taxi industry. It on a daily basis, over 1 million people are commuting using the taxis, and at the same time, the commuter 68% of the commuters are using the taxi industry. So it becomes very important that we look at this industry, which is doing so much, and then we are able to assist in terms of empowering and capitalizing this industry.
For Minister, I was asking about alternatives for commuters.
Alternatives for commuters, if you look at the bus industry, you look at the trains, there is diminishing transport with that regard. What we need to do is, let's look at this industry, which actually many people are using, and be able to say, how best can we be able to use this very industry so that the people of the Republic of South Africa can be able to benefit out of that. One of the things that Santaco is saying very clearly so is that they don't want the subsidy to go to the operators, but they want the subsidy to go to the commuters. And for us, what more can we ask for if the commuters are the people who are going to be benefiting? Obviously, it means that probably there will be reduction in terms of the taxi fare. Probably it means that there definitely will be better systems, because they are also talking about they want to professionalize, they want customer care, and these are the things that we're also supporting them.
All right, thank you for your time tonight, and we'll follow that, Lekgotla. That was Deputy Transport Minister Dikeledi Magadzi.